Namaste everyone, I am ST Aditya Sharma. So today let's know about the how did the British East India Company capture India. It was a strong company and many of us have a misconception that the British exploited Indians, but it was not actually the British or the British king or the representative. It was the company, the East India Company, which exploited the Indians a lot. So I started a new series called The British Rule and Indian Independence, so in which we'll know how did British conquer the territories in India and what were the features and how did they rule India, and then how did India get independence. So this is a series that I have introduced after 2 days of Independence Day celebration, or the 77th Independence Day. So now all of this could be known. So let's start our video. I request all of you to like, share and subscribe. So the East India Company, it was started around 1600. So why did it start? It started because Italy had gained a monopoly in Europe for trade. So to stop this monopoly, they were selling it at a high price. So to stop this, British thought, or this company thought of coming to the the Asian continent where spice was very rare and it was a very valuable thing. So it was compared to gold also. So to trade here they originally came. So let's know what were its powers and why did it came. You must know this. She is Queen Elizabeth I of British, and she gave a royal charter in on 31st December 1600 to give permissions for the British East India Company to go to India and trade, and it did not want the competitors because it would also create competition between the local and the British rulers and the British traders, which again does not profit the country. So it had gained monopoly, and it also had a permission of keeping armies, which was a great thing. And she gave so much of powers to this company that they can bring their own justice system, their own punishments and everything, their own rule. They can even conquer territories. So let's know about the next thing. But still they did not get a place to start because there was no such place, and Mughal Empire was very strong. Jahangir was its ruler, and they needed permission to trade. But also that a fact to be taken note is that Jahangir had good relationship with Portugal. So let's start this. This is King James I. After Queen Elizabeth died, he became the ruler of England, and he sent Sir Thomas Roe, an official diplomat. They were unsuccessful in gaining the permissions, but after Sir Thomas Roe went and he made Jahangir very happy with giving a lots of gifts, and he was an experienced royal diplomat, so he got the permission. And he also said that there is no use in waging war against the Mughal Empire, as it was very strong. It was at almost its peak, not at its peak, it was very strong. They knew that they could not win, so they established a warehouse or a factory at Surat in 1608 to start. So after that, Josiah Child, his name is also funny, he became the second governor of East India Company, not Governor General, not mistake, take the mistake. It's governor, just governor, not Governor General. So he was a bit arrogant. He's not happy that they were paying a lot of taxes, so he wanted it to be tax free. And so he waged a war against the strongest ruler of Mughal and who had the most area under him, Aurangzeb. And this man was so arrogant that they lost this war very easily, and he did not knew that. He was almost like a child because he should have used his intelligence there. This is a famous painting where I'll just mark here. As you can see where I'm marking, this is just a child, and this is Aurangzeb. This is where they are apologizing for him. And finally, Aurangzeb also agreed and gave the factories back to them and gave the permission also back to them and collected some money for waging war. After the death of Aurangzeb, there was no such strong ruler to control the administration and be strong. After that, the Mughal Empire declined and continued to decline until its end when Bahadur Shah Zafar was the ruler. So this is Farooq Siyar. He came after some generations of Aurangzeb. He gave the dastaks. So you may know what are the dastaks. Dastak is a license which allows the British East India Company to trade without tax. It may be import or export. Not there was no tax on the import or any export on that. So this gave the company a lot of strength and a lot of monopoly in that. So after that, Ali Wardi Khan, Nawab of Bengal, the Nawabs means after the weakness of Mughal Empire was observed, the governors or the feudatories who were under the ruler, there were 12 provinces. The provincial officials declared them as Nawabs or anything. They became the ruler, and such Nawab was Ali Wardi Khan and his grandson Siraj ud Dawla, and very important man came to the power. So he was very furious that the British were mending the forts without permission. They misused the dastaks. So he got very angry. After that, he captured Fort William and imprisoned 146 Englishmen and locked them up in a small black room. The next day, 123 of them died, 23 of them survived. This is called as the Black Room Tragedy or the Black Hole Tragedy. This enraged Robert Clive. This led to the famous Battle of Plassey on June 23rd, 1757. And next, Lord Robert Clive made an alliance with Jagat Seth, who was a prominent rich man, and as you may know, Mir Jafar. He was the commander of Siraj ud Dawla's army. So they offered him the post of the king or the Nawab if he stays neutral, and they managed to convince him. He became neutral and he called back his forces. So according to the plan of Robert Clive, it went and they lost. And they means here the Nawab, the Sirajudawla, and the Bengal lost the battle, and you know Lord Dal, Lord Robert Clive or Robert Clivenett. After this, Robert Clive made Mir Qasim, the nephew of Mir Jafar, as the ruler of Bengal. But Mir Jafar was also there for a small time, but no, he did not. Mir Qasim was a good administrator, but he was not happy with the British. He was not so happy and he wanted to take back the power. So he waged a war with two prominent rulers, and this battle is called the Battle of Buxar. This is Shujudawla and this is Shah Alam II. He was the Mughal emperor, not the Nawab of Bengal, the Mughal emperor. He also came with him, and as you know that they lost very easily. He, Robert Clive, after this introduced a new policy in Bengal called the dual government, in which the East India Company would collect all the taxes and the administrative power would remain with the king. The justice, everything would remain with the king, but the taxes would go to the British, which was a important thing. This is very important to know the next things in the video series. So after this they lost and Shah Alam II gave Diwani rights. Diwani rights means again the right to collect taxes. So now let's know about the famous or the infamous, which is both the Carnatic Wars. It was fought between mainly the British and the French. So let's know about it. So the first Carnatic War was fought in the year 1746 to 1748. So at that time the French Governor General, who was Dupleix, he called a French military leader from Mauritius, Lord Ordonez, to come and fight with the British. Before that, the Hyderabad kingdom was established by Asaf Jah in 1724. So after that, his feudatory was Anwaruddin. He appointed a feudatory called Anwaruddin. This Anwaruddin is important. So after Labordinus took the support of the Duplex and he fought with the British were helpless and took the support of the Anwaruddin. After they took the support of Anwaruddin, they thought that they could win, but they did not. They lost the war, and the Madras was captured by Labordinus, and it was ended with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, which was signed between the British and the French. After this, the Second Carnatic War took place between 1749 to 1754. In the circumstances, after the death of Asaf Jah, as I told you, there was a struggle between the British and the French to make a leader, and finally Salabat Jung became the leader. So after that, the Second Carnatic War took place. In the Second Carnatic War, again, the French and the British had to fight, and this happened in our court. They attacked the British in our court, the capital city of Karnataka. But again, after this, the English were very, very strong, and the English defeated the French with the sign of the Treaty of Pondicherry. So after this, they had to fight the third Carnatic War, the final one. Again, they fighted the Count de Lally of French and Sir Eyre Court. This is also called the Battle of Vandivash. It mainly took place in 1760, but the third Carnatic War is for a long time, 1756 to 1763. Finally, the last time French tried to attack the British, and as you know, they lost. The French lost, and the Treaty of Paris was signed. And the Pondicherry was returned to French. After this, the British company gained monopoly over all European traders, and it became the only ruler. So now let's next know about Lord Wellesley. He is a very, very important man. He played a very, very important role. So Lord Wellesley was the the Governor General who led to the expansion of the British Empire, or the Company Empire, sorry. So he introduced a policy called subsidiary alliance in 1798. It played a very, very important role. So let's know what are the conditions of subsidiary alliance and what it did. Conditions of the subsidiary alliance. The Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. The concerned state had to bear the expenses of the army and wages of the soldiers, and also had to give a certain revenue for the lands as well. The king had to have a British resident in his court. The king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. In order to enter any agreement or pact with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. In return to all these services, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. So after this, many states came under this. So let's know which states came under this. This was a very, very cunning policy by the British to take control over India. The Peshwa family, the Scindia family of Marathas, the Gakwat family of Marathas, Awadh, Hyderabad, Tanjavur, Mysore. These were the states which came under the subsidiary alliance. So how they came, will know. So the first state to come under this was Hyderabad, as you know. Hyderabad became the first state to come under this agreement, but this was very cunning because the Indian rulers cannot wage war against anyone they want, but they have to keep the British army. This is very, very cunning from Lord Wellesley. So let's next know about the important thing, the Anglo-Maratha Wars. So three Anglo-Maratha wars were fought. First Anglo-Maratha War between 1775 to 1782, second one between 1803 to 1805, third one from 1817 to 1818. So in the first war, what happened is that in the Battle of Buxar, 1764, you may know that the Shah Alam II gave Diwani rights to the Britishers. So now he became again back the ruler of Mughals. After that, Shah Alam II gave some regions to Marathas, which are Kora and Allahabad. So this was not the Britishers were not happy with this, and the Madhav Rao, important Peshwa, died. He was a strong man, and there were conflicts between two, Narayan Rao and another man, Raghunath Rao. So the after this Narayan Rao came to the power, and after Narayan Rao also was not so strong, his uncle murdered him, Raghunath Rao. This resulted in a fight between two major rulers, Madhav Rao II and Raghunath Rao II. The Maratha Federation appointed Madhav Rao II, the son of Narayan Rao II, as the Narayan Rao as the ruler. So Raghunath Rao was very upset by this, and he approached the British for help. And this led to the first Anglo-Maratha War, in which the Marathas, even though they gained upper hand, they had to lose, and the Sal by agreement was signed to solve this. But thing is, Madhav Rao too again was the page only. So now let's know about the second Anglo-Maratha War. The second Anglo-Maratha War, as I said, was fought between 1803 to 1805. The Yashwant Rao Holkar and Daulat Rao Sindhya and the Peshwa, who was Balaji Rao too, were the three main families, and Yashwantrao Holkar's army defeated the other two armies. So upset by this, the Peshwa appealed the British for help, and he went to the British, and so he had to sign the subsidiary alliance. Important thing. This is how Maratha came under the subsidiary alliance. The subsidiary alliance he signed with signing the Treaty of Bassein. After this, the other families, which were Gaikwads, Holkar, Bhosle, were not so happy with that. After this, there was a fighting, and you know that they won. It's the British won, and this, for some time, there was peace in this region, just for a small time. After this, the Third Anglo-Maratha War took place. In this Third Anglo-Maratha War, it took place from 1817 to 1818, and this was mainly because the Peshwa, who was now Baji Rao II, wanted to free himself from the rule of British, so he attacked the British residency in Pune and burned it down. After that, many attempts were made. Finally, in 1818, Peshwa Bajirao II fought against the British, and he surrendered. The British, to end all of this, abolished the Peshwa post only and granted Bajirao II pension. They made Pratap Singh, the descendant of Shivaji, as the ruler of Satara, a mini state, and named him as the real ruler of Marathas. So now what I am telling, the years are different, they took place at different regions, but I am just going in and after one war. This is not the way it happened. So after this, the Anglo-Sikh wars also happened, in which Hindu, Muslims and Sikhs got together and fought, but they still lost it. The British gained the control in the northeast also. So after this, let's now look at the next thing. Hyder Ali. You may know this man. This man is very important man. He was the ruler of Mysore kingdom. Mysuru Vadayas were the main rulers, but Hyder Ali came and became the ruler, and he is an important man. After this, Tipu Sultan, he also came. So now let's know about this man. He is also important, Lord Cornwallis. So this all leads to these persons are important. The Anglo-Mysore wars, the main wars which are very important. So let's start to know about these wars. Hyder Ali was a very intelligent man. He knew about the cunning policies of the British, and he was very famous in the south, and he became very strong. This could not be tolerated by British, so they came and they made an alliance with the Nizam of Hyderabad and the Marathas. This war happened between 1767 to 1769. So now as this war processed, Hyder Ali used the modern equipments which were with British also, and he was very strong. He did not use the weapons which could not be used to defeat the British. And after this, the Bombay Presidency also joined this war, but Hyder Ali was too strong. They he pushed them back to Madras, and the British lost this, and they signed the Madras Treaty in 1769. So during the second Anglo-Maratha War took place during 1780 to 1784. The Madras Treaty was very strong and made Hyder Ali also very strong. So now Madhav Rao attacked Srirangapatnam, Patana, and with also the Maratha army. Hyder Ali expected the British to support him as he signed the Treaty of Madras, but they did not. After this, the war took place, and Hyder Ali died during this war, and in 1782 he died. So his son Tipu Sultan came to the power, and the British tried to take the advantage of this, but Tipu Sultan was also strong. This war was almost won by both also, but the Mysore kingdom had a bit of strong, and this war was ended with the Treaty of Mangaluru in 1784. So now let's look at the third Anglo-Mysore war. And Tipu Sultan was a very important man, as he was very strong. He wasn't the British. He knew the cunning policies of British, and out of all of their efforts, this Anglo-Mysore wars were the most damaging to the British, as they were very strong, and two wars were won by the Mysore kingdom. Second was also, you can say that, won by the Mysore only. The third Anglo-Maratha war took place, and in this Tipu Sultan was also there, but he was not so strong. He was strong, but the combined army, as I said, the alliance moved until the Srirangapatna, and in unfavorable conditions he accepted the Treaty of Srirangapatna. No one supported him, and he lost it. And now let's know about the last one, the fourth Anglo-Mysore war. So Tipu Sultan had to pay 3 crore rupees, and his children were captured by the British, and until he pays, his children would not have been released. His children were released and he paid it. But he was very unhappy with this development. So this way the fourth Anglo-Mysore war took place. He also tried to take the support of the French, and this enraged Lord Wellesley. He became the Governor General in 1798, and after this he went and the war happened. He lost it, and the British were very happy because this man has died. And after this, they took out Tipu Sultan and made a royal representative, or the royal rulers, Mysore Wadiyars, is a royal representative of British. And most of the territories of Tipu Sultan was taken and shared by the Marathas, the Nizam of Hyderabad, and the British. After this, the Mysore region, a small region, came to be known as the Mysore princely states. So now let's know about the next thing. Lord Dalhousie. he introduced a policy called the doctrine of lapse. It said that if any Indian ruler died without having a male child, the kingdom would come to the British Empire and the adopted child will not be recognized as the real rule. This afterwards led to the revolt of 1857, which will be in next video after some time. So now let's know the states which came under the doctrine of lapse. Bhagat, Udaipur, Awadh, Jaipur, Jhansi, Nagpur, Satara. These were the main states which came under the doctrine of lapse. So now I think you have understood how did this company capture the whole, almost the whole India to them. So next video will be about how did the next things happen, what were the rules implemented by them, and mainly the revolt of 1857. So let's meet in the next video. Thank you, and I expect you to comment and share and like. Thank you. Bye bye.